Mauritius isn't just a tropical escape. Behind the glossy photos lies a real island, with real people, real stories, and a truth that most tourists miss. And yes, those things are real. You can stand on a beach here and feel like you've stepped into a travel magazine cover. But if you believe that's all there is, you're missing the real story. Because this island, my island, is far more than a vacation cliché. Today, I'm breaking down 5 things tourists get completely wrong about Mauritius. I was born here, I grew up here, and I've lived both the island life and the world beyond. So let me take you beyond the resorts, beyond the Instagram photos, and show you the Mauritius that lives in the hearts of the people who call it home. First myth, Mauritius is just beaches. Don't get me wrong, our beaches are stunning. The kind that stop you in your tracks, fine white sand that squeaks under your feet, palm trees bending gently towards clear water, and lagoons so calm they look like glass. It's no wonder people fly thousands of miles just to lie under our sun. But if all you see is sand and sea, you're skipping the soul of this island. Mauritius may look calm today, but its story began in chaos. This island rose from a world that was constantly shifting. Mountains pushing up from the ocean floor, valleys carved by wind and rain, cliffs shaped by time itself. What you see now is the result of a long transformation, where something wild became something beautiful. And if you want to dive deeper into that story, from the first volcanic eruptions to the landscapes we see today, I've covered it in detail in another video here on the channel. It's easy to forget, looking at the calm lagoons, that every mountain, ridge, and valley was once part of that explosive story. The heart of Mauritius doesn't beat softly. It was carved by heat, pressure, and time. And that energy is still here, under the surface. Every time I climb Le Morne Brabant, I feel something shift inside me. The trail winds upward through rock and brush, and with every step, it's like the island is whispering its story. Le Morne isn't just a mountain, it's a memory, a place where nature holds on to something sacred. That's why it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It represents identity, resilience, and the silent strength of our ancestors. At the top, the wind hits you full in the face, and below, the lagoon glows like a secret. You stand there, not just for the view, but for the feeling. A deep stillness. A reminder that this land remembers everything, even when we forget. Head inland and the colors change. The blues of the coast give way to deep greens, thick forests, rolling hills, and valleys carved by rivers. The Black River Gorge National Park is our wild heart. It's where you find waterfalls that roar during the rainy season, rare birds like the pink pigeon, and hiking trails that take you from shady jungle to open ridges with views across half the island. Few visitors ever climb the edge of Trou au Cerf, but those who do are met with something ancient. At first glance, it's just a crater, a deep bowl of green tucked in the middle of Cure Peak. But this is no ordinary hole in the ground. This is where the island breathed fire into existence. Scientists say Trou au Cerf is a dormant volcano, quiet now, but alive beneath the surface. Some even claim it could erupt again in 1,000 years, or 10. That mystery, that tension between calm and chaos, is what gives the place its weight. From the rim, you don't just see trees and rooftops. You see the spine of the island, the veins of lava that once flowed, and the pulse of a land that remembers its birth. Stand there in silence, and you'll feel it too. Mauritius wasn't built. It erupted into being. One thing I love about Mauritius is our microclimates. You can start your day swimming in 30-degree heat at the beach, then drive an hour and find yourself in cool mist on the central plateau. One moment, salt on your skin, the next, the scent of wet earth after rain. That's the Mauritius most tourists never see, but for us, it's just daily life. Second myth, Mauritius is expensive for everyone. Here's the truth, Mauritius can be expensive if you live like a tourist every day. Stay in 5-star resorts, eat imported steak, and drink French wine every night, rent beachfront villas. Yes, you'll spend a fortune. And if that's your style, enjoy it. We're good at luxury here. But locals, we know how to stretch a rupee. What most people don't realize It's the rhythm of daily life that keeps things affordable. I'm talking about the small routines. Buying fresh bread from the same tabeji every morning for less than a coffee in Europe. Getting your hair cut for 150 rupees at a barbershop that hasn't changed in 20 years. Or hopping on a local bus for 25 rupees, windows down, music playing, winding through sugarcane fields on your way to the market. Even eating out doesn't have to be a luxury. In many family-run restaurants, especially away from the tourist hubs, you'll get a full plate of rice, curry, salad, and pickles for under 200 rupees. Homemade, spicy, and served with a smile. And when you live here, you quickly learn the off-the-menu deals, from bulk buy fishmongers at the harbor to unmarked fruit stalls that only open at dawn. Mauritius isn't cheap or expensive, it's flexible. It adapts to the way you live, not the other way around. At the market, you can fill a basket with fresh vegetables, tropical fruit, spices, and fish for less than the cost of a single hotel buffet breakfast. In places like Port Louis or Flack Market, the energy is as much a reason to visit as the prices. You hear the calls of vendors, smell fried noodles and fresh herbs, and feel the pulse of the island. Street food is not a cheap alternative here, it's part of our culture. What most visitors miss? The magic of the inland villages. Stay a week in a place like Mocha, Floreal, or Lalmidi, and you'll see a different Mauritius. Morning market runs, neighbors sharing fresh fruit, kids playing under banyan trees. It's not 5-star, but it's 100% real. In Mauritius, not everything is on Google. Some of the best finds, whether it's a place to stay or a hidden beach spot, come from word of mouth. It's an island where asking the right person at the right moment opens more doors than any online booking site ever could. Third myth, there's no real culture here. Some tourists think Mauritius is just a holiday island with no deeper culture. That couldn't be further from the truth. Mauritius is more than a place. It's a crossroads. For centuries, people from Africa, India, China, Europe, and beyond have arrived here, sometimes by choice, sometimes by force. And somehow, over time, this island didn't just absorb those cultures, it made something new out of them. You feel it in the quiet rituals, like a shopkeeper lighting incense in the morning, or a family gathering around a shared meal that blends 5 different traditions in one. It's in the little things, how a Chinese dumpling ends up in a curry broth with herbs from someone's backyard, or how a French pastry gets a twist of tropical fruit, handed to you by someone who speaks 3 languages in a single sentence. And the way people greet each other here, sometimes with a handshake, sometimes with a nod, sometimes with a warm ça va or correct, it doesn't follow any one script. It just feels right, because this island was never built on uniformity. It was built on connection. Culture here isn't something we put on for display. It's just how we live, woven into everyday life, without effort or performance. And maybe that's what makes it so special. You see our culture in the festivals. During Maha Shivaratri, thousands of Hindus make the pilgrimage to Grand Basan, some walking for days. For Chinese New Year, red lanterns glow above the streets of Chinatown, lion dancers drum their way through crowds, and families share feasts behind closed doors. On Catholic feast days, processions wind through villages, followed by music, food, and laughter, and everyone is welcome, regardless of religion. We don't just have culture, we live it, every day, in small acts and big celebrations. Fourth myth. Mauritius is tiny, you can see it in a day. Yes, on a map we look small. And yes, you can drive around the island in a few hours, if you never stop. But that's not experiencing Mauritius. That's like reading the title of a book and thinking you know the story. Each coast has its own personality. The south is wild, waves crash against black cliffs, and beaches like Gris are beautiful but dangerous for swimming. The east is peaceful, long stretches of turquoise lagoon, fishing boats rocking gently, and small islands like Île aux Cerfs that look like they belong on a postcard. The north is lively, Grand Bay's nightlife, shopping, and beaches packed with both locals and tourists. And the west? Well, that's where the sunsets are worth stopping for. In Tamarin or Flic-en-Flac, the sun melts into the sea while families play barefoot on the beach. Drive a little further past the usual spots, and you'll find quiet corners where the coastline feels untouched. In Albion, for example, cliffs rise above the sea like silent sentinels, and the lighthouse stands watch over it all. Timeless, unbothered. In the late afternoon, the wind picks up and the light turns golden. Not the kind of gold you see in travel brochures, but something softer, warmer, like the feeling of coming home. Locals gather on the rocks with a cold beer in hand. Children chase each other barefoot, and there's this calm, like the island is gently catching its breath before night falls. No music, no crowds, just the sea, the breeze, and the kind of silence that says more than words ever could. Inland, it's another world. Sugarcane fields stretch to the horizon, broken by villages where time moves slower. There are mountain trails that lead to viewpoints you can't find on any tour map, waterfalls hidden behind farm gates, and valleys where the only sound is the wind. I've lived here my whole life, and I'm still discovering new places. Mauritius may be small on paper, but on the ground, it's endless. Fifth myth: locals and tourists live separate lives. Some imagine we live in two different worlds, tourists and resorts, locals and villages. Sure, our daily routines are different, but we're too small an island to be truly separated. You'll find locals at the same beaches you visit, lining up at the same street food stalls, buying from the same market vendors. We might be there on our day off, or after work, or during a family outing. Some of the most unforgettable moments happen in the in-between, when curiosity meets kindness. Maybe it's a stranger offering you directions and ending up sharing a laugh, or a neighbor waving you over to try something sizzling straight off the grill. It's not about tourist shows or planned experiences. It's spontaneous, real. Because here in Mauritius, welcoming someone isn't a performance. It's second nature. It's woven into the way we talk, the way we share, the way we live. So there you have it. 5 things tourists often get wrong about Mauritius. We're more than beaches. We can be affordable. Our culture runs deep. We're bigger than we look. And locals aren't a mystery. So next time you come here, don't just lie on the beach, listen to the Sega beat under the stars. Share a plate of street food with a stranger. Ask a local where they'd go, and go there. That's where the real Mauritius lives. And I'll be here to show it to you, one story at a time. And if you want to see more of this side of the island, the hidden spots, the real costs, the everyday life, subscribe to M360, Inside Mauritius, because this is just the beginning.